All right, so hi Sierra. I do apologize about the delay and that we couldn't meet on Zoom. But again, I had a family emergency, so I promised I would take you a video. So that's what we're gonna do, okay? So I have 2 salmon fillets here. They're fresh salmon fillets. I have about a pound of Brussels sprouts, and then we're gonna do 3 carrots, okay? I have our garlic, our black pepper, our salt, and parsley flakes, all right? So first, what takes the longest? The Brussels sprouts, because you need to cook them low and slow. So, I'm gonna open these, and then I'm gonna cut them in half, and I'm gonna show you when I finish. You wanna get a medium saute pan. This is my saute pan right here. And you wanna go ahead and turn the heat on while you're cutting these. And I have this extra virgin olive oil right here. Let me see if you can see that. There you go, unfiltered. You can get this from Walmart or Publix, okay? So this is on a medium-high heat, all right? And like I said, you're gonna cut the Brussels sprouts in half. Cut them in half. Makes the cooking time a little bit less, all right? And again, I have a pound left, all right? So again, just cutting these in half. And then next we're gonna go ahead and get ready to do our garlic. And salt and pepper. And a teaspoon of, I have vegan butter. Just for your dietary needs. Now, if you want to use regular butter, that's okay, as long as you don't go out of ketosis, okay? So we cut them in half, like this. They're in half. Cut them in half, all right? Now, as soon as this gets started, the heat, you'll kind of see it smoking just a little bit. Right now, I'm gonna take 3 cloves of garlic. And I'm gonna mince them. Now, if you have minced garlic already, totally fine. No judgment here, okay? So, gonna mince this garlic right now. Like I said, this is a little bit of prep for the Brussels sprouts because they will take the longest. The salmon will take about 10 to 15 minutes depending on the size of your salmon. And you just want to make sure that it's done in the middle. What I like to do is I like to have the skin on. Those are the best ones. Those are the best ones to have because they cook a little bit more thoroughly than hitting the straight salmon flesh. Okay? So, I'm going to try to make this video as detailed as possible since I can't talk you through it. And again, I'm just mincing garlic here. Wait for that pan to heat up. And you want to add the garlic kind of at the end because you don't want to burn it either, okay? So, you'll be mincing a little bit more garlic for your salmon, okay? Because it's going to give it that flavor. And that's also where the Parmesan will come into because we're going to do a Parmesan crusted salmon. I wanted to give you a little bit more flavor. Just because you're doing keto, that doesn't mean your food is flavorless. And that's what a lot of people think. It's like, oh, if I go on this certain diet, then I can't eat certain things. Yes, that's true. But that doesn't mean it has to be bland. And that's not what I want you to have. I want you to be able to do this recipe and do it when you're not on your keto diet. And add the brown sugar and the balsamic flavors like I wanted to. And also for your Brussels sprouts, almonds and pecans are also a great addition to your Brussels sprouts. Okay, can never go wrong with adding a little bit of crunch, and that's probably what I'll do. So if you see this and then you have some almonds or pecans, you can add. But also, again, when you get off your keto diet, you can make brown sugar maple pecans, which is some of my favorite things to eat as a snack or to put it in my salad. If you can hear that oil, that means we're almost ready. So this is where we are with the garlic. All right, let me bring it down here. So this is where we are with the garlic. It's 3 cloves of garlic right here. And I'm gonna move you a little bit because matter of fact, I'm just gonna keep you right here so you can see. We're going to now oil this pan up real nice. We're going to start tossing in our Brussels sprouts. Leaf down, because that is the thickest part of the Brussels sprout. It takes a little bit longer to cook. Now these will cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. If not 20 to 25, depending on if you have gas, if you have electric, things like that. I also cover mine, and then we salt and pepper at the end. So we make sure we don't lose any of that flavor. We salt and pepper at the end when we put our garlic in, okay? So we're just gonna let that go. If you have a lid for your pot, I like this lid because it presses everything down. So I'm gonna add that lid to it. Now, I'm gonna put this garlic into a container so that I may chop up more garlic and parsley for the salmon. Now, I have little cutesy containers, but whatever bowls you want to use. So I'm gonna put that garlic in here. And then all right, so my garlic for the Brussels sprouts are in here. Okay, got it, cool. So we're gonna add just 2 for the salmon. 2 cloves of garlic. If you don't notice, I love garlic. It's great for your digestive system. It also adds a dope flavor. And I also didn't feel like crushing garlic today. It's Monday. We're all lazy. So you're going to mince some more garlic. Again, keep those Brussels sprouts on a medium. Now, I have a cast iron skillet that we're going to use for the salmon. But you can use whatever medium saute pan you have. So that you can cook it evenly. Because we're going to get a nice sear on the salmon first, on the skin down. And then we're going to flip it over for just a minute. And you'll see why. Because what we don't want is uncooked salmon. That's first thing. If you have a grater, you can also grate the salmon. The garlic as well. That's also an option. If you have a blender and you want to make this a whole butter sauce with your garlic and your parsley and your salt and pepper, and then add your Parmesan at the end when you're basting your salmon, also an option. So I'm sitting here mincing some more garlic. Hoping you're having a great day as best as you possibly can in quarantine. When you're cooking your Brussels sprouts, it should smell like you're cooking a little bit of collard greens. If not, turn it up a little bit. But I'm smelling it now. So, or cabbage, which most people like a lot of eat a lot more cabbage than collard greens. So, because I'm smelling it, and I know it's searing, I'm going to turn it down to a low, medium heat. Because again, we want everything to be done at the same time. And you don't want to overcook anything. And it's also going to help when we get ready to put our garlic in there. So, I'm going to finish mincing this garlic. And I'm going to add it to a container, and I'm going to show you right now. So that you can see. This is also salt and pepper to taste. You don't want to over salt or over pepper your food. You can't take seasonings out, but you can always put them in. Okay, remember that. So, this is what the garlic for, there you go. This is for the garlic for the salmon. All right. While we're doing this, have 3 carrots. I might have said 2, but we're going to make 3. Because we have 2 salmon pieces here. And we're going to go ahead and use our potato peeler and get that skin off. So that we're going to add this to the Brussels sprouts. That steam is going to cook everything evenly. And that's why I added a little bit extra time. So that everything cooks properly. You want it to be cooked but not mushy. Because your salmon is already done to a certain temperature. And you want to make sure that you have a little bit of crunch. Exactly why I said almonds are also possible, which, like I said, I might add at the end. So I have 2 medium carrots, and then I have a small one. So that you can see. I'll let you see as soon as I finish peeling these. Okay, so these are my 3 carrots. They're fully peeled. Now we want to cut them at a slant. Okay, so I'm going to bring the camera down here. And you want to slant them. Okay. I don't know why, they just look prettier when you're putting it on the plate and everything's just going everywhere. Okay, that works better. All right. So, do this with all of your carrots. Right now, like I said, I can smell it, the Brussels sprouts. Carrots take a little bit less time. They could say like that. And then, I'll bring it down some more. So, cut up 2 already. Now, if you have tongs, this would be a great time to bring them out. All right. We got our 3 carrots. Right done. They've been peeled. I'm going to check on these Brussels sprouts now. Okay. So, see that? That's what you want. You can start flipping these. Start flipping these over. They're real pretty. Now, we can start adding our carrots willy-nilly because the steam from there. And this is where you want to add your vegan butter, olive oil, whatever you like to add. And then we're also getting ready to start heating up our cast iron skillet or regular skillet, whichever one you have available. Put it in there. We're not seasoning yet. We're not seasoning yet, because again, the seasoning will get lost in the bottom of the pan with these vegetables. There we go. You want to close that. Clean off your counter space, because I have carrot stuff everywhere. And I'm going to get ready to finish the seasoning for our salmon. So I'm going to let you there for a minute. And also wash up our cutting board. We won't need it anymore, but clean as you go. Okay, I lied. We will need the cutting board, but not to actually cut anything, just because I want to place these salmon fillets a certain way. Now, okay, we have our garlic here. What we're gonna do is add pepper. I don't know if you can hear this hissing, but it's definitely hissing in the back because it's cooking to a certain extent. Smelling that butter. It's still on a low medium heat. Then we're adding salt and then just a little bit of olive oil. I didn't add too much salt because Parmesan is already salty. And you don't want to, again, over salt your food. So, I'm going to mix this together with our parsley. I'm going to turn this up to a almost medium heat. So. You can put as much parsley in there as you would like. You can even add it at the end. That's totally up to you. It's just a flavor thing for me. So, I have this, and we can add just a little bit more oil. So I would say about a tablespoon of oil you want to add to this mix. Like, that's pretty. How that looks, okay? Now, we have our salmon fillets. Again, skin on. And you want to just baste those right now. Can you see? You cannot see. I'm bring you down. Okay. You want to baste those right now. Get in those crevices right here. Let that oil drip down. It's going to be real flagrant when you start to cook. Again, if you don't want the chunks, you can always put this in a blender or a NutriBullet, because I have both and I will use both. But on salmon, I just like the way that it looks. Because of the way that it cooks. So, all right. We are getting ready to, don't know why I had that on, getting ready to check these carrots. So, of course they're not done, but you want to make sure at least a little bit of heat is hitting them. And right now is the time where you can turn it up and add a little bit of your, get that heat into it, because that butter is melting. So you want to make sure that you're hitting the carrots the most. So I'm gonna put this down. Granted, this is not the top for this, but it just seems to work so much better for me than most of my tops. The top that came with it, I'm just like, I don't know where it is for one, and for two, I like that top better. So it's kind of worked out that way. So right now, we're going to get ready to heat up our cast iron skillet. Again, if you don't have one, you can always use a saute pan like I have here. It will work perfectly fine, okay? So I'm going to put it on a medium heat. Olive oil. Olive oil will let you know when the pan is ready. 2 teaspoons of olive oil in there, or eyeball it like I do, because at this point I kind of just know what 2 teaspoons are. And then we are going to get ready for the salmon to go in. Also, salt and pepper on the salmon. Probably just pepper, because we already put enough salt, and we're going to add some more grated cheese, like I said. So the cast iron skillet will let you know when it's done. All right? Well, when it's ready, I should say. And you don't want to burn your salmon, so just in case your pan is a little too hot, always skin down. The skin can take it, the flesh cannot. So if the skin has to get just a little bit more crispy than the flesh, totally fine, totally okay. So you can also hear, let's carry it back here. Also, an option, if you don't want to put them in the pan with the Brussels sprouts, you could always boil these. Cut them real pretty in the arrangement that you want to, and then water, salt, pepper, and let them get a little bit done. Add them back to the pot with the Brussels sprouts so they get that good garlic flavor. So that's what we're doing now. I felt like this was a little bit easier for you and for me. Because baking Brussels sprouts always doesn't come out the best. Because sometimes you will forget about some things, and you be like, "Ooh, well, they burnt now, so at least they done." But you want to do that. Carrots don't take long. By the time the salmon is done, the carrots will be done as well. If they are not, give them about 5 more minutes. I'm going to take the cover off of this. I'm just going to turn the heat up to a medium high and let them go the way they need to go. Because technically the Brussels sprouts are done. At this point, they're just getting an extra added layer of flavor from the char and the carrots cooking. So we're just letting this go the way it needs to go. And again, that butter helps. If you need more, because mine is non-stick, if you need more, add more butter, add a little bit more olive oil, 1 tablespoon, so that you make sure that nothing goes awry here. So, like I said, at the end of this, we'll add our salt, pepper, and this is how it's going. At the end of this, we'll add our salt, pepper, and garlic to it. I'm gonna bring you closer. So this is how they look. They're looking beautiful here. They're getting done, but you don't want to overchar your Brussels sprouts. Okay, so The cast iron skillet is almost done. I can tell it's almost done because it's starting to smoke. If you're using a non-stick skillet, put it on a medium-high heat for about 5 minutes. It'll be ready to let your salmon go in. If you put your salmon in and you don't hear that sound, lift it right back out because it's not ready yet. Okay, so again, we're just cooking this, waiting on this to get done. I'm gonna wait about 1 more minute so this oil can be done. You can also tell by the way it moves around the pan. Moves a little bit more freely around that pan when it's done, or when it's ready, I should say, the oil. All right, now what I'm going to do is bring all my carrots to the middle. And I'm going to recover this while we're cooking our salmon to give it that final flash of doneness before we season it and let the garlic go in there, okay? Because again, the Brussels sprouts are already done while we're keeping them on the outside. With the way that my eye is set up, most of my heat comes in the middle. Make sure that we get everything in the middle. All right, my cast iron skillet is smoking now. I'm going to turn this down as well to just medium high. Oh, turn it down to just medium, like I said. And so I'm going to bring you over here so that you can see. Let me bring you closer. So you see that is smoking, correct? So that is ready. We're gonna put our thickest filet down first. This is the thickest one. Okay. Get that skin nice and crispy. There she goes. Turn it down to a medium because the oil is already hot. Now, on that flesh, it needs to go about 2 to 3 minutes. Again, that depends on your thickness. So if you need to lift it up, to see, you should also be able to see around the edges that it is crisping up as well. Okay. So again, we're going to turn this down just a little bit in the back because we're getting ready to flip it for about a minute. So, I'll take our tongs, because I cannot find my other ones. You just want to lift and see. Okay, check your thickest one first just to see about the skin. That skin needs about 30 more seconds, which means you can go ahead and flip this one, okay? Now, if you need a spatula to do this, do so, okay? This is only going on that side for about 30 seconds to a minute, all right? You just want to hit both sides. Because this is the thinner one, I'm going to turn this one over first. I'm going to turn the heat all the way down to low and let it finish cooking, okay? So, all right. You can smell the garlic in here. It smells so good. So, I'm gonna turn this one over. Oh, that's pretty. And then this one as well. Turn the heat all the way down to low. Let it finish. If you need to, like I'm gonna do, well, no, I'm not gonna cover it. So, let that skin get the rest of it, but you want to make sure that you don't have raw garlic. So that's totally different flavor profile that you don't want. So, now, we're going to check back on these, our vegetables. I'm going to take, now as you can see there's a char on our carrots. I'm going to check with our fork with one of the thicker carrots. And yes, that is almost ready. I would say about 2 more minutes. Now, if you want to, if your carrot's already done, you can go ahead and add your garlic. But right now, just waiting on these to cook, we can go ahead and add our salt and our pepper. Again, we'll add our garlic at the end because we don't want it to burn. It's a totally different flavor profile and it sticks in your mouth and it is not the best, okay? Alright, so we're going to add our salt, our pepper. And we're going to add our salt just a little bit because again, we're putting in the Parmesan. Now, this is our garlic. Spread it around. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to use my trusty dusty spatula. I'm going to get up in here. And this is still on medium-high heat. At this point, we're just mixing for flavor. Now, you can turn the salmon off. The carryover heat will finish cooking it. Okay? I'm also going to turn these Brussels sprouts down. And let it finish doing what it's doing for a few more minutes. Again, this is very flagrant. It will smell up your house in the best way possible. Okay. Again, turning it down because you don't want to burn the garlic. I'm actually going to turn it off now because it's been 2 minutes. Okay. Okay. So, turn it down, turn this down. Now, again, you want to add almonds, you can. I'm going to add almonds to mine. Pecans as well. Any type of nut is good to add to this type of meal. Now, as this is getting done, add these at the end, or like I said, I just do them so it's not too much. It adds a different type of texture, so not too many are needed. And then that's when we're going to add the Parmesan. So we're going to remove this from the heat. Add our Parmesan here. Okay. Add our Parmesan here. As a different flavor profile. You don't need too much. You want to add more, you can. Also do the fresh shade that you said before. So, here we are. Okay. Now, I'm going to take the smaller, the wider one. Oh, there we go. Let me get my top. I'm gonna take this one. Ooh, I like the way I did that though. I'm gonna put it here. Okay. And then I'm gonna take this one. Boom. I'm gonna place it here so that they kind of overlap. So here they are on the plate. Then we're gonna add some more Brussels sprouts so that people can see this. And then some color. And then some more Brussels sprouts. Flip it over so that people can see. Make sure we get a little bit of almonds in there. Oh yeah. And then okay. Okay. So I just add a little bit of almonds here and there. Since they are not the show, they are the accentuator. Put this back over here, and this is what you have here. So we have a nice keto friendly meal. Your salmon is done, not overcooked. Now if you want to eat 2 of these, that's up to you, huh? But I mean, because that's what I'm about to do. But like I said, again, I'm gonna show you the plate one more time. So this is your salmon, Brussels sprouts, almonds, carrots. Enjoy yourself. Thank you, Boo, for joining this. I appreciate your time, and I will talk to you soon, all right? Bye.